Hey everyone, it is Dani and welcome to this updated video. And so I hope that you're all having a great Monday thus far. So in this video, we will be talking about that tropical wave that is marked as the disturbance by the National Hurricane Center and the potential for it to develop and maybe possibly make its way to the Caribbean. And we'll be taking a look at current conditions out there as well as what the various models are expecting. And so before I go into details, okay, and so we're going to be starting off with this disturbance, of course. And so looking at the National Hurricane Center's 5-day outlook, without even seeing the chance, we can see that the chance is low because once it is marked in yellow, that means that the chance is low. And it indeed is 20%. We haven't had a rise in this formation chance since the disturbance was identified. But we will wait and see what's going to be happening. But of course, imminent development isn't expected. That is why it has that arrow to show that when it moves into that shaded region, we could see development of it. So if conditions are conducive enough, we could definitely see development of this maybe into a weak tropical cyclone. But if it manages to make its way to the Caribbean and it has all those showers and thunderstorms associated with it, then it could bring some inclement weather to sections of the region. However, if it makes a turn a little bit to the west-northwest and misses the Caribbean but enters the vicinity of the Bahamas, if there are more favorable conditions there, we could definitely see development, and that is what one of the models is showing. So we'll be going on to that very shortly, but now let's go ahead and take a look at conditions, starting off with that dry air. And so here we have this map, and we're seeing that there is quite a bit of dry air that is noted across sections of the Atlantic, and the tropical wave is located right within that region, just in the vicinity of it. And so this dry air will definitely impact the system here, and that could be a reason the formation chance has not risen. So if conditions are not expected to be very favorable, then we won't really see the chance increasing. But let's wait and see what's going to be eventually happening with it, and if it manages to survive all of this, let's see what's going to be happening when it makes its way towards the western Atlantic. But there is that dry air out there, which is that dominant inhibiting factor throughout this hurricane season. So we're going to be seeing what happens with this disturbance. But in terms of ocean temperatures now, so we are taking a look at the sea surface temperature anomaly map, and we're seeing that we have these various colors. So the white indicates that things are pretty much average, the blues indicate cooler than normal temperatures, and the yellows going to the reds indicate warmer than normal temperatures. And across sections of the main development region, as well as going to the coast of Africa, we see that there are some mainly whites and blues within those regions. So those areas marked in the blues definitely represent cooler than normal temperatures. And one of the contributors of that is likely the plethora of dry air that is out there. So all of that Saharan dust, when it blankets that area over time, it would result in all of these sun's rays not really penetrating the ocean surface. And so it would act as sort of a shield with some of those rays, and that is the reason things are cooler, because if everything is not penetrating the ocean surface, then we wouldn't see that increase in temperature. So the Saharan dust has some contribution to these cooler than normal temperatures. But generally across the North Atlantic, temperatures are warmer than normal. But once those waves make their way off Africa and they survive, make their way up to the northwest or to the Caribbean and the Gulf, where they might reach more favorable conditions, then we could definitely see development, especially this time around. We are reaching the peak of the hurricane season. And so going on to the humidity map for the GFS and the Euro. So we're starting out here with the GFS, and we are seeing these teals and these browns. And so the teals indicate areas of moisture, which is where we're likely to find that tropical system developing. Meanwhile, the browns indicate dry air. And so going to Monday, the 29th of August, there we have that area of moisture to the northeast of the Lesser Antilles, which is that current tropical wave that is marked that GFS is expecting to be out there, not really developing at that time. However, behind it, there we have another wave emerging off Africa, just to the west of the Cabo Verde Islands. And then going to Thursday, the 1st of September, GFS is starting to show that that first wave in the vicinity of the Bahamas would start to develop a little bit, but that second one is sort of dissipating in all that dry air. However, there is another one behind it that is intensifying. And then going to Tuesday, the 6th of September, look at this, GFS showing 3 simultaneously active tropical systems out there. And so the model keeps on changing with these systems, and so the only thing that is consistent is just the fact that development is expected in the very near future, going to the last days of August and early part of September. So guys, we'll definitely have to wait and see what is going to be happening. But again, that dry air, all of that dry air concentration, it has really been a significant inhibiting factor for tropical cyclones. And even if we didn't have so much being out there, a lot of tropical waves that didn't develop would have, because they would be in more favorable conditions without all of that dry air intrusion. So a moist environment would increase the chance for tropical cyclone activity. And so going to Euro now, so this is Friday the 26th, Friday of this week, and right where we have that little teal blob right there, that is indicating the tropical wave. And just off Africa, we see a 1010 millibar low pressure area with all of those teals indicating moisture, of course. And then going to Monday the 29th, Euro is showing that we will start to have this system intensifying. So it is showing that the system will be struggling across the main development region again. All of that dry air, those browns are all around, which indicate that dry air. And the deeper teals we have, the more moisture there is. Meanwhile, a second tropical wave would emerge off Africa, where we have that 1008 millibar low pressure system. And then going to Thursday, the 1st of September, next Thursday, take a look at this. We have all of this dry air resulting in weakening of these systems. So not seeing anything major develop there. And that one definitely accelerating into a lot more dry air. So we'll really have to wait and see what's going to be happening. But I think the best chance for tropical development would be for these waves to survive and maybe make their way to the Caribbean and maybe up to the Gulf, or maybe they make their way over to Central America. But being out there in the main development region is quite hostile as of right now. But we could see a reduction in all this Saharan dust as we head to the peak of the season, which would provide a more favorable environment for tropical cyclone development. So we'll have to wait and see, guys. But both of these models here are showing that we will see some development take place as we head into the latter part of August going to September. So this is the time of year to expect it, and it is likely that we will be seeing development. And so the next two names to be used for this hurricane season are Dani'i and Earl. So let's see if we're going to be having Dani'i being used maybe by next week, and maybe Earl following behind afterwards in no times. And so that is what is on the horizon as we're going to be closing this month and heading into September. But of course, I'm going to be keeping you guys updated as time goes by. And so guys, that is really it for this update video. And if you found it to be quite informative, please leave a thumbs up, and you can share your thoughts in the comments or ask a question. I'll try to respond as best and as soon as I can. And of course, remember to always be weatherwise.